Sure. Welcome back to another episode of Frankly Speaking Sports. I'm Jack. This is
MT.
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. We got a packed episode today. We got a lot to get into. First and foremost, man, how you doing today?
I'm a little fatigued. It was a long week. Been burning the candle at both ends this week, and I'm a little fatigued. But I'll be all right, though.
Spraying yourself a little thin.
Just a tad bit.
Well, you're on the right side of the grass, so at least that's a good start.
That's true.
As for me, myself, it's been a pretty good day. The week's gone by fast. We got to work tomorrow. I forgot that fast, so it's not all the way the weekend. But, we going to rock out with it. But anyway, we got a lot of sports shit to get into. My Lakers didn't look too good yesterday. I mean, as a fan of basketball, I enjoyed the game. It was an exciting game. Very, good finish. But as a Lakers fan, that shit is unacceptable. You can't be up 5 points with 4 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter and, give up the steal that leads to a three. Then you score the basket, still leave 2 seconds left on the clock, and Josh Giddey hits the half court three, and the rest is history. It seems to me they are playing like a trap kind of zone defense, and then trying to use the athletic ability to close out on threes. And I don't know how much of a sustainability that will have for a playoff run. Like it worked for a game to game basis. Having to see a team. I don't know how sustainable.
It seems to me that that whole scheme is designed to hide defensive deficiencies, if you ask me.
Obviously they have some defensive efficiency. Well, they're lacking on defense. They have some deficiencies on defense, rather. However, when they play on a string and play really well and they lock in on those defensive rotations, because something that I noticed Luka is able to do, he's able to exploit that high screen and roll and get this match with the big man. And he's effective with it, and then it seems like the defenses, they kind of like throw a blitz at him to try to slow him down and stop him. And he's a good passer, so it's always someone open and they hit shots. At one point they were up 18, man. Like you're supposed to. I did for a brief minute because I watched the Tigers-Dodgers game as well. Opening day was yesterday, so there was a lot of exciting games on. A game I ended up watching that I didn't expect to be exciting. Well, it wasn't exciting. It was a blowout, but the fucking White Sox won. The White Sox won. They beat the Angels 8-1. So that was crazy. But anyway,
They're teasing.
I genuinely thought the Lakers would be able to close this game out, and I was going to be able to come in here and say, hey, they got their get back for about a week ago when they played and they got blown off the court.
They're now actually three out of 4 losses in the last 4 games.
They're 4-6 out of their last 10.
That's not good. That's trending in the wrong direction.
And so why the game last night is so important is because of the playoff implications. Like, you don't want to fall too low in the standings. They do have the tiebreaker with a few teams. So they kind of do control their destiny. It end up anywhere as high from like the 2 seed and anywhere as low as in the damn play. So it's like you control your destiny, LeBron had he hasn't looked great coming back from the injury in a few games. Like, understandably, he's playing himself back, getting his win back, playing back into his version of game shape. And he's playing kind of a different role. Like, the last couple games, I've seen him playing more of a traditional power forward role. Like, I don't want to necessarily say he's a Karl Malone, but he's playing more of that role where he's down in the post more. And it gives the Lakers an advantage because of his strength. They don't necessarily have the size. But I do also like Jackson Hayes down catching those lobs. I really do like that. Like, now defensively, you have the rotation between him and Vanderbilt, because Vanderbilt is obviously a little more solid on defense, but
Billy on offense though.
So that's why they make that good rotation. I also like watching Kobe White as well as Austin Reeves go to work. Like, those two are really coming into their own.
I kind of told you that Austin Reeves.
No, nigga, that is not what you said. You tried to tell me he was a better defender than fucking. No, better athlete. Like, get the fuck out of here.
LeBron James said that right now. Austin Reeves is our best.
He was supposed to say that. He's supposed to hype up his fucking teammate. He was also talking about AD's durability and his ability to play through injury well before he, would go out for a fucking paper cut. So we're not gonna sit here. LeBron hasn't always been a constant. You words. He's always been a great teammate. He's always boosting up his team, on and off the court. So and of course he's supposed to say, like, yeah, Austin Reeves, great athlete, but come the fuck on. Everybody knows.
Well, I was watching that game with interest because I saw that Austin Reeves is not a good shot getter, one-on-one defender, locking him up. He can't really get his own shot. He needs to have a motion offense, running off the ball, getting it, running downhill.
However, the beautiful thing, for the first time, I really believe in LeBron's career, he actually gets to be a part of a system. Like, this is something that we talked about before. Where, like, he has been the system throughout his career. And, that I've called him the coach maker. like, that's why the nigga is the king. He's the coach maker. Like, what coach has won after LeBron has their roster?
Well, I mean, if you use that same logic, Phil Jackson had Michael, then he had Kobe. After that, he was nobody. That's why he retired, because Phil Jackson is not the kind of person who can build the team.
He went to New York and did shit. He didn't work.
Took a dump.
However, can you tell me a Jordan or Kobe that was on that Knicks roster? I'll wait.
That's what I'm saying, though. And he is great at coaching talent. Great coach. He's great at managing and coaching talent.
That is a very good part of fucking coaching.
I mean,
so for example, the people who shit on Mike Tomlin, like, oh well, he gives you regular season success, but we don't get any playoff success. And it's like,
don't have talent.
Bro, do you understand the fires that you don't understand are even burning because they get put out and you don't see so much as smoke from the situation? You didn't know Antonio Brown was a fucking nutcase until he left. He managed that shit for so long.
That's
you
true.
Didn't realize Chase Claypool was a dickhead.
When I look at coaches like that, and I say, yeah, they're good at managing egos and encouraging you to subvert your ego for the betterment of the team. But Phil Jackson was not the architect of the triangle. Tex Winter was. That's why he always kept Tex Winter on his staff. People don't even realize Tex Winter was the one that picked the triangle offense. And Phil got all the credit and accolades, but your assistant coaches want to implement this whole thing.
Yeah, so my whole thing is it was a great assimilation of talent, coaching, and just everything coming together.
Which you need to be a champion.
Like, everything that came together and what they built on top of the lack of talent in the finals.
I mean, I look Belichick after Tom Brady was gone. You can see that he got some serious glaring deficiencies when his go-to guy, who's a system guy, is no longer.
So the reason I don't find that a favorable situation is because before Tom was Tom won Super Bowls.
I agree.
Those early Super Bowls in the early 2000s, I genuinely believe were all on Bill and that defense.
He had the defense.
That defense came in and locked in.
He had the system.
And Tom was able to develop. And like once Tom developed into Tom, it transitioned there. Okay, now we're winning Super Bowls because of you. You know what I mean? Instead of it just being
in spite of you.
It was never in spite of him, but it was always more of a, you know what I mean? Like, as long as you don't turn the football over, our defense is going to be rock solid. They're not. We don't need you to do too much.
He turned from a game manager to a dominant force on offense.
Definitely became an X factor, but however, I agree with him from the standpoint of after he no longer had Tom Brady,
his system was exposed.
It got exposed. It started like the chinks in the armor started to become exposed well before. Like, yeah, it wasn't even so much him slowing down because he still went to Tampa Bay and put up the numbers. However, when Tom Brady when Tom Brady is yelling in game, "Get the fuck open" to his receivers, and, you're sitting there and you're looking at Tom's face and it's just like, oh, these motherfuckers are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then the receiver, the only decide to draft in the first round and kill Harry, you end up turning into a fucking tight end.
And that is so funny because I saw Shador Sanders do the same thing in Colorado, barking at receivers, "Get open!" And I'm like, oh, that's a leadership. I'm like, that's leadership, but that's desperation. Like, dude, get some separation. Gee whiz.
So,
hot mic moment, as we call it. But he's barking orders, and he can see his frustration.
How much have you followed the draft?
I haven't. I've been following bits and pieces, but I know that the Giants just signed Russell.
Yeah.
To me is
a sign.
A tutoring.
I think no, because they also have Jameis. You wouldn't need.
Yeah.
You two veteran quarterbacks that could come in and start. Regardless of because the NFL is not Madden.
No,
you're not going based off of fucking Madden rate.
But
these are actual players.
If they draft Shador Sanders,
so to me that signals one of two things happening. A, they got wind that somebody is either going to move up or Cleveland is going to take them at 2, and I'm hearing Cleveland is kicking tires on trying to make it for either a Kirk Cousins or a Dak Prescott. So if they can't pull the trigger there, then maybe they'd be possibly, interested. And if not, I think they'll either draft Abdul Carter to pair with Myles Garrett or Travis Hunter, let him play two-way. I personally would let him play DB more predominantly and then come up with packages for him on offense, as to where you're a full-time receiver and trying to play full-time cornerback.
To me, that's not practical.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable at all. Because, when I see some pretty decent hits in college, but
it's nothing like the NFL.
Nothing like the NFL. He's going to take 3 or 4 hits and go like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Because Deion Sanders never really took any hits. He always deflected and he always went down and he was always arm tackled. You never see him, if you look at his highlight films, taking full-blown flush hits, which is why he persisted as long as he did, because he wasn't the victim of those teeth rattling, just, ooh, want to see him tomorrow morning kind of hits.
I just think, like I was saying, it's one of two things. A, they're not going to be in a position to draft Shador, or B, they don't like Shador. Or a third alternative could be that they think he's going to fall, eventually jump back up. Let's be honest. Tennessee is staying put at 1, and we think they're pretty much staying put at 1, and they're going to draft Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
If Cleveland doesn't draft him at 2, 3 and 4 don't need quarterbacks. That's the Patriots, you know. So I don't think the Giants would sign him, but draft him simply because you make that move to go get Russ. Either or, I think you would have been okay. They're the same type of quarterback, but then the quarterback room is fucking crowded. It would be a waste. It would make more sense with what they currently have set up. And I just personally think the Giants are looking at it like, okay, we probably will be a bad team next year. We're not going to be able to compete in the division with the Jaden Daniels and, you know, everybody else in the division. Let's fucking get in position to get Arch. You know what I mean? Like, I think they would like that transition really, because obviously the Daniel Jones project was a failure.
And they're going to have, to me, they're going to have a lot of latitude with the fans because they have such a low level of talent. So the expectation is going to be low for them.
So that's why I'm saying, if you were to go out and say this year, build the rest of the team up. You have a bridge. You have a bridge quarterback for this season. Build the rest of the team up. Get another weapon opposite of Malik Neighbors. Go get a Tyler Warren is tight end. There's Tedero McMillan. He might be a little rich at 4, but there are Travis Hunter if he's available. You know what I mean? So, but back to my original point. If he doesn't get drafted there, if the Saints draft him at 9, you don't have another team that needs a quarterback until Pittsburgh. They pick it like 17, 21 somewhere.
It's actually been coordinated Rodgers as well.
So
I think that's window dressing now.
I think he's smart, but he's pissing me off. I know that kind of sounds oxymoronic, and I'll explain. So if you're just holding out because you want to make sure you don't get Kirk Cousins, I understand. If you're waiting to the draft to wait and see who they draft, what moves they make, wait till free agency is over, and then I make my decision, I understand. If you're making them fucking wait to decide if you actually want to play, and you fucking retire, or not even just retire, I'm going to just sit this year out. Yeah, no one gives a fuck. If you sit this year out, you're not coming back next year. At least for me. Like, and I have to completely write off Aaron Rodgers. He's one of the greatest throwers of the football. Some of what I was able to watch him do against my team, against everybody in the fucking division, was amazing. However, you're really fucking rigid to be beyond your prime.
Yeah,
and to make it just all me, and it's just like, that's not the play for it.
I mean, from what I was reading, that the Vikings showing interest in him.
No, they told him no. They told him no. We don't.
We're going with JJ then.
We don't want to do it. You know?
I can't say that I blame him, because to me.
Well, I think Minnesota also has the Kirk Cousins trade in their back pocket as well. You know what I mean? Because it seems like Atlanta is more content with riding with Michael Penix as their starter for this upcoming season.
As they should.
Kirk obviously doesn't want to be a backup, and if Atlanta is willing to just eat the fucking, you know what I mean, just get rid of the situation, he still has the opportunity where he can go play. You also have like Joe Flacco out there.
Isn't he older than I am? I think Joe Flacco was like ancient.
That motherfucker still get that ball up the football field.
He still has a cannon. But Joe Flacco, to me, is in dire need of a system, though, because his mobility is almost as good.
His mobility has never been his strong suit. He's never been the blazed in the fucking 40-yard dash. However, what he offers is, if you're asking Joe Flacco to be your starter for 17 weeks, I think you're probably gonna have some problems at some point. However, if you need him to start in a pinch, a few weeks time, your starter goes down, like, he's a solid option to get you through a stretch if your starter gets hurt. Like, he still has value. He's still out there.
I think that Joe Flacco is again a dinosaur because those immobile quarterbacks are dropping like flies.
Well, shit, Shador is immobile. Well, I'm not gonna say he's immobile, but he's more of a pocket quarterback than.
But he will leak out on you though, and he's an athlete. You couldn't say that. Say Flacco was an athlete, not even when he was in his prime.
The crazy thing is, as far as athleticism is concerned, he's maybe like the 5th quarterback in it. He's not more athletic than Will Howard.
No.
But, so that's the problem. When you ain't as athletic as a white boy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I understand.
I'm just saying. But anyway, I've also been doing a bunch of mock drafts.
I've seen a lot of that going on here.
Because it's not a whole lot. Like, this is the point in time where teams start lying about who they like and who they don't like, and even though all of these players will love in fucking 6 months, they're gonna shit on right now. Simply because we don't have anything else to talk about. Well, we got a little bit to talk about, but as far as football guys, we don't have too much to talk about. The dead zone of the season.
Pretty much.
It seemed like you got something you going to get it off.
The NFL just permitted the nose wipe celebration.
Oh yeah, that is now a penalty.
No, any violence gesture shall include, but not be limited to a throat slash, simulating firing or brandishing a gun, or using the nose wipe gesture.
Oh, so no more.
Or an act that is sexually suggested.
Oh, so no more Jamison Williams. The Doonies down on the sideline.
No fun league for real, man. What the fuck, man? What can we do then?
You know what? They are going in the exact opposite end direction as the NBA. Because the NBA, all that hollering and screaming and cheering and all that stuff.
They've never wanted to be the NBA.
No, but
they look at the NBA like they're fucking idiots because all the contracts are guaranteed.
Yeah, and
that's why the NFL get looked at like slavery. Like it's just
sign a guy and say, you know what, we changed our mind. We're not going to guarantee you all this money.
It's been a little. We got a little bit to get into. You haven't watched the LeBron Pat McAfee interview.
I did not,
but I know you followed the Stephen A. and beef
that was kind of humorous.
It's still ongoing.
Yeah,
like, dude. So LeBron kind of came on and shitted on Brian Horst and Stephen A. a little bit, and that's all I fucking talked about.
I looked at
so even though LeBron played really good a couple nights ago against Indiana, he had to get that. Man, he had to get that because it was like, dude, if you would have talked all that shit on that show and then came out and y'all fucking lose,
because they showed Stephen A. Smith. I was on Twitter arriving at a Lakers game with that swag. I was like, what is he doing?
Did you hear fucking Stephen A. talk about if he would have put his hands on me, I would have swung on him?
That's what I say. What?
And then LeBron posted the clip of Stephen A. with trying to throw them uppercuts.
Looked like a girl. And I'm like, this is about the most brother I can remember in recent memory. He shoots his basketball like I shot it.
That I think the media tried to fix a little bit. Because you have a lot of like journalists and shit that are reporting on the sports that didn't play.
Never laced them up. And when you have
couldn't play. Weren't athletic enough. Didn't even try out. Like I'd give you more respect if you tried out and got cut from the team all 4 years of high school.
And see, the thing was, Stuart Scott, he was an athlete. And he came with that charisma.
Yeah, he's a legend for sure.
That he, I know what it feels like to be between these stripes here.
Mm-hmm.
So he had the
it's a respect for the game.
Respect for the game.
And you lack that. And so going back to what and I know you're gonna like this. LeBron kind of gave credence to the players of old and actually said something that you've resembled on the podcast recently is the fact that there was a level of respect that you would give, like even with the media to the players. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't ask. He brought up the situation where they asked the reporter asked Joel Embiid about his brother. It's like, motherfucker, you wouldn't ask Charles Oakley about his brother. He slapped the shit out you. You wouldn't ask Vernon Maxwell about his goddamn brother. He would slap the shit out of you. So now you're getting into it. No. You made a face.
Vernon Maxwell would
have slapped the shit out.
I don't disagree.
Charles Oakley, they had to stop him from slapping his players when he.
I just think it's certain people. You know, we still pick and choose to this day on who we want to press and who we want to like get certain like people there basically. And like you wouldn't go and ask Isaiah Stewart. You know what I mean? Like, so I think personally like Hooper is just one of the softest. I know they don't like just softest brand of athletes. And so when shit don't go their way, they're so quick to be like, oh well, what the fuck? And it's just.
Well, see, that wasn't always like that back in the good old days, though, because you would have not challenged Charles Barkley back in his prime to no fist to taking you up on it.
Right.
But I don't disagree, but then that goes with like we can't sit here and act like everyone who was in the league back in the old days was brute and
But I mean, Tim Duncan got a beef with the referee, and the referee said, let's step out into the tunnel. They're like, dude, you see how big this guy is, right? And Tim is laughing at him like, what's going on with this little short, pudgy white guy?
Well, they also know there's a level of you can't do shit to me because the scrutiny that's going to come down on you. You remember the situation where Devontae Adams was running and the photographer got pushed over. It was a situation where he just looked up like, oh shit, dude, the fuck, she threw this goddamn paper ball at me. You know what I mean? Like, it was a situation like that. And they tried to press charges and sue. And so there are going to be people who will try to poke you to, as soon as you hit them, they're going to smile because they're like, I'm finna sue the shit out of you.
And it's litigious society.
I'm gonna sue the shit out of you.
Yeah, that's the world we like. And that I do. Like, I'm not knocking any in the world of rage. You know, and just like, definitely. I want you to react. Like, a reaction is way bigger than even me here next to you.
That's what I do to you.
I think you try. You try. And I think you only do that because you get baited into certain conversations, and it's like, oh, this motherfucker is right. You know what? I'm not gonna give you the satisfaction of telling you you're right, so I'm gonna try to do something to throw you off of your game. I think you should just become a better conversation.
Well, I will say this. LeBron James said, not Wemby, Giannis was better than Wilt Chamberlain ever was. And they showed Wilt Chamberlain as a 16-year-old, just all over the court, basically playing all 5 positions, never once carried the ball, never once traveled, and I was like, this is a 16-year-old who is playing better than Giannis is right now. You think he was better than trust me. You saw that game.
So I could also bring up a clip of a 16-year-old LeBron dunking on Jordan.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh shit.
But I'm saying nobody ever said that LeBron James couldn't play with Jordan.
People have tried to say it.
Question.
But Dennis Rodman said he couldn't have played during that era because he wasn't big enough. He wasn't strong enough. Not fast enough. Not athletic enough. Like, get the fuck. Like, dude, shut the fuck. 6'9", ranging anywhere. Now, this is LeBron's words. He can range anywhere from 215 to 280 at 6'9". I just make the argument Muggsy Bogues survived that fucking era. I think LeBron would have been okay. I think Giannis would have been okay.
Giannis, when I look at Giannis,
maybe not young Giannis, maybe not skinny.
But we can't do that. Then they'll be like, oh, whoa, this. No, we're talking about right now. Giannis, right now. The guy with the ring, this, right now. You're trying to convince us he ain't shit.
I'm not saying that.
He ain't shit.
I'm saying he ain't Wilt Chamberlain. That's what I'm saying.
That's a stretch.
So
that's not a stretch.
What you have to understand, it's error bias. And this is why I keep saying it's a preference thing. When we get introduced to something, normally that's the era that we think is the best era.
I understand that, but Wilt was not in my era. I saw an aging.
Your old ass is old as dirt. You was around when Jesus was walking.
On aging Wilt, I saw an aging Kareem, although I did see Kareem.
I don't want to hear it. Wilt wasn't in my era.
But
nigga, you remember Dr. J and goddamn Elgin Baylor, motherfucker. I don't want to hear that shit.
But Elgin Baylor came after Wilt.
What's more important, accolades or rings? Like, the stats or the rings?
The stats are, to me, are more important.
In rings?
Yes. But you could look up and get a ring based on a good team.
We're talking about not
But
the
you 100 points unless you are a phenomenal ball player.
not the bench riders. This like as a player, like actual star players. What is more? We're not talking about the people who ride benches. Like the actual star players. What is more important, rings or stats?
My drawback with that would be George Gervin. Never got a ring.
That nigga was cold though.
But he was cold.
That
That's why
nigga
they
was
called
cold.
him the Iceman.
The Iceman. He was cold to the
Out of
bitch.
it.
So I just want to point out something: the hypocrisy in this nigga. So the fact that his GOAT is actually Wilt for the same reason a lot of people say LeBron is the GOAT. The fact that you have him on the goddamn list is ridiculous because you talk about the overall ability.
Talk about the era in which he played.
But so that's what I was about to talk about. When you're introduced to that era, mostly people think I do the same thing with music, right? The era of music I got introduced to, I still think that old school 90s rap was the best fucking era of rap music to me.
I agree.
But that's when I introduced to it.
I saw Sugar Hill Gang when they first came out in '79. So I'm just saying, I understand how of lyrics, the style. It was like better than it's ever been in the '90s as far as rap.
I definitely would understand when starting in '79 and looking at the evolution of hip hop. Not to get too far off course, but I'm just using it as an example.
I understand.
When we get introduced to something, most of the time we think that is the best era. And when someone else comes along to that's the discrepancy. That's the argument.
Well, my thing is, when I was coming up and I watched NBA players doing things that I could never do, I was like,
they still do shit you can't do.
That? No, if I was in my prime still playing the game right,
they still do shit you can't do.
I can travel very easily.
They still do shit you can't do.
Carry the ball because that would put me at an advantage.
How many half-court shots could you hit?
I shot in half course before.
No. I didn't say if you could hit one, motherfucker. I asked how many could you hit.
Well, in my era, if you took one half-court shot, you weren't in the game.
How many 5-footers can you just effortlessly just, because these motherfuckers is just throwing this bitch up.
I remember.
Did you? Question. A couple days, did you watch Phoenix Celtics?
I did.
That fucking, the first quarter, it was like, what the fuck?
That was the worst actual.
Dude,
I thought about MT and I was like, this is the shit OG.
So no. It's only the problem when they miss. What the fuck do you do when they're not missing?
Well, you know what?
Dude, they shot like they like 9 3-pointers in the first quarter.
But I just remember being.
And then they ended up closing out, and by halftime, it got, I think it was like 42-38 or something at the end of the first quarter. So they ended up closing out the gap, and then fucking Boston just went on a run. And this is without Tatum, and I fucking hate Boston. Let me just point that out. I don't like the Celtics. I fucking hate them. I've never liked the Celtics. I've never liked the fucking Celtics. And the fact that you're a part of the majority that doesn't agree, or that agrees that Boston had a fucking big four back in 08, 09 in that era, like you don't count Rondo like he wasn't the facilitator of every fucking thing. It's just crazy.
Rondo
and something else I want to point out, because you like talking shit and I like the shit that you talk and they're pointing shit out. You know the years that you're talking about that Ray Allen was a slasher in Milwaukee? He hit the most threes in the league.
I know that.
But he was a slasher.
If you outed him out, he would dunk on you. So you had
most threes in the league, 2 years in a row.
Question.
But he was
because because we could go all day about this era, this.
Hold on, real quick. Something else that I want to point out that you said that I found out wasn't all the way factual, right? The Shaq breakaway rim rule that you said wasn't a rule. The reason that Shaq made it a rule is because Shaq would intentionally try to pull the fucking breakaway rim down, and then they implemented the breakaway rim rule, where it's like anybody hanging on a rim for an excessive point in time, but it's a technical foul and a fine.
I read that to you. I literally told you that one.
But I'm saying I had breakaway rims in high school. We could pull them down ourselves. else.
But the fact that you didn't acknowledge that when I brought it up on the podcast before is bullshit. Anyway, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Here's the thing. Back in the day, there were two Michael Jordan wannabes in the league. There was Kendall Gill and that was Ray Allen, because they would dunk on you.
We just saw Kendall Gill last night. He's the
super athletic.
He's the Bulls post-game reporter.
Yeah, he used to be, when he came out of Illinois, Kendall Gill would dunk on anybody. They was like, oh, he want to be like, because he had that leaning Michael Jordan dunk, and he did it all the time in games. They'd be like, he wanted to be the next Michael Jordan. Learn to shoot first. But the thing about it was, he and Ray Allen had the very same kind of game where, except for the fact that Ray could shoot, they would come to the hole on you and put nuts in your face.
Wait a minute. Hold on. So they had for one player could shoot and one player is one of the greatest shooters of all time and one player could shoot? Well, to me, that sounds like the difference between a male and a fucking female.
I'm talking about similar athleticism. They would both posterize you in a heartbeat. Kendall Gill was only 6'5", just like Ray Allen, 6'5", and they would come.
But to say they had similar fucking skill sets, but one player could, and one player is like, come on, dude. What the fuck are we doing here?
When Mike first came into the league, Mike was not known as a shooter. He was a slasher. He would put his nuts in your face.
He wasn't known as a shooter, but he hit one of the greatest fucking shots in UNC.
That was college. That was like a 16-footer. Come on now. He wasn't trying to, the record of how long that was. He was wide open.
No.
You're supposed to hit that. I could have hit that.
So in the early 80s, people weren't shooting three-pointers?
Because it wasn't practical.
No shit.
But I'm going to tell you.
But just saying he was not known as a shooter, like he just couldn't fucking shoot is ridiculous.
Everybody would back off a mic and say, shoot. I'm not letting you dunk on me. Shoot. And then he would try to dunk on you anyway, and then he would get elbowed and shouldered, and then he started saying, you know what? I got to learn this shit.
I do want to say the defense of that period was weak as fuck. I can point many videos of the hectic defense. Like, the defense was only regarded as good during that time period because they beating motherfuckers up. It was WWE goddamn court. There wasn't many defensively sound. I'm gonna just flat out stop you or
There was a guy named Alvin Robertson. Who would shut you down. He played for the Pistons, played for the Spurs, he played for a couple other teams.
That was the exception, not the rule.
There was a guy named Darryl Walker.
Those were exceptions, not rules.
There was a guy named Derek Harper.
I saw a lot.
There was a guy, Pat Lever, who would shut you down.
Bro, you're naming 5 people.
There was a guy named Doc Rivers, who's now a coach, who would clamp you up. Come on now. Joe Dumars would put the clamps on you.
So you gonna name 7 guys in a league of 75 people.
I'm naming elite perimeter defenders.
You're naming 7 guys out of a league of 75 fucking people.
I'm naming the elite perimeter defenders of my time.
How many people did you just name?
I could have named Rolando Blackman, put him on that list as well. I could have named Kevin Johnson, who, when he committed, he could D you up. But Kevin Johnson was more interested in just playing a point and just dribbling the ball and occasionally dunking on you.
So he doesn't go on the list.
No,
anyway,
he doesn't go on the list.
So you just named guys out of a league of 75.
I could name Latrell Sprewell. He wouldn't lock. I could go on. If you just give me some time here.
You're getting into different eras. We talking about the 80s, early 90s.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Haywood Workman, who was a referee who would clamp down for the Pacers.
Was a referee.
He's a referee right now, I think.
Okay.
I'm saying.
I don't know the referees' names.
I'm saying is
I did watch the LeBron Pat McAfee interview though.
People hung their hats on not being embarrassed back, because if you just sit around and pick your nose on defense back in the day,
I'm not gonna say that's an era. That's not an era thing. No one likes to get embarrassed. Every man has fucking pride.
What Luka was doing against the Pacers was embarrassing. Hey, go away! I don't need a screen.
The guys are bad. It is. Like, he has to commit more effort on defense. Like, there's no doubt about that.
When you he like what, 6'7", 6'8", and you got he's 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah, I think he's like 6'7".
So you got this guy, and you got a 6'4" guard waving people away. Nah, don't give me a screen. He mine.
Because it's the athleticism. Once I get a step on you, I have the. Well, it's not even the desire. You don't have the lateral movements to flip your hips and be able to stay with
He can go by people.
Well,
on offense.
that's a strength thing.
He's
strong.
He understands angles.
That, and it's a strength thing. Like, he's been playing professional basketball since he's 15
years old. He's
been playing against grown-ass men, having to get the physical. He understands the physical nature of, like, being able to push off and not too much without getting fouled.
Leverage.
And the nuances of it. I mean, he's a smart basketball player.
He is.
However, I've seen him put more effort on defense. So I know he's capable of doing it. It's just a night in, night out thing. I look forward to seeing fucking playoff Luka, because that's a whole nother fucking.
I think personally that Luka wants to expand his energy on offense, not defense. I think he makes a concerted effort and a conscious to rest on defense and then bust your ass down on offense. That ain't Dominic Wilkins did the same thing.
It's not a sustainable game plan for the playoffs.
It's not. That's why Dominic never got a ring.
But I also think it may just be because they understand, like, shit, we just waiting on the playoffs to start. Like, we got, let's just, what, they got like 10 games left in the season?
Yeah.
So right now they're tied with Memphis at the 4-5 split. They have the tiebreaker I just mentioned earlier. I think they're both like 44-9 or something like that.
I don't think that the Lakers are athletic enough anymore when I watch them playing a full game to really compete in the playoffs. They're not athletic enough. They are just not.
So who do you think would be their kryptonite? What matchup do you think they would struggle against?
The way Houston runs, Houston would be a nightmare.
Get the fuck out of here.
The way OKC runs, OKC would be a nightmare with them. The way Denver moves the ball, Denver would be a nightmare to them. The way Golden State, since they've had Jimmy Butler,
Denver is fucking struggling them goddamn self. They have problems themselves.
They are.
The only team that I genuinely have a fear of getting matched up against is OKC. I'm not gonna lie. That matchup does kind of scare me. I do have to kind of, because they can defensively, they match up really well with what the Lakers can throw at you.
Bro,
and then offensively, they just run.
Overwhelm you.
But I do think they're a year too young to win the chip. Like, they would be the youngest team in NBA history to win a chip if they were to win it. So I don't think it's the year.
That if
I think they can get there though, and I think
if Steph gets healthy and he's healthy, LeBron don't want to see them in the playoffs.
That's a big if. That's a big if. He's bullied. First of all, he's bullied Steph in the fucking playoffs.
He has.
He's bullied Jimmy in the fucking playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know about bullied. He had some
do you remember
games,
the finals?
But he ain't.
Do we not remember what you call the bubble ring?
Jimmy was like the only player on that team that was.
What was the shit? You were there. What the fuck does that matter to me? You're on the other side of the court, wearing the opposite jersey. I'm a hoop on whoever's on the other side of the court wearing the opposite jersey, my nigga. That's all that fucking matters.
And that was what, 5-6 years ago? Yeah. Ain't the same LeBron no more. I'm sorry. And Jimmy hasn't fallen off athletically as much as LeBron has.
Hey, bullshit. I look. Let me show you something. Let me learn you something real quick, right? I got a graphic here. These are LeBron's numbers. The years he won MVP. 09, he averaged 28.4 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. He won it in 10. 29.7 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. He won it in 12. 27 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. He won it in 13. 26 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. It's 2025.
Yeah, but I see that slight decline as you keep reading.
2025.
I see that slight decline as you keep reading.
Man is averaging 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists.
And if he had shoulder more below
in
the
year
playoffs,
20
that ain't gonna happen.
40. This nigga is still putting up MVP numbers.
He is
at 40.
And how many rings has he won since the bubble stuff? I'll wait.
Shit, we could win one this year.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I didn't omit somebody.
There's no opportunity to win it this year.
There's always an opportunity because it's so wide open.
I'm just saying.
But I'm not gonna bet my house on that shit though.
I mean, you shouldn't bet your house on nothing. You'd probably be homeless.
All I'm saying is, 40 is 40, and the time was undefeated, and we're starting to see now.
Is it that, or is niggas just hoping? You just hoping on niggas' downfall. You just as bad as fucking Stephen A. and them hating ass niggas.
I just watch him his places in which to go and run and places in which to go rest, and I'm like, that's Father Time right there.
Nigga, you just came in saying you did the same thing when I asked you how you were doing. It's like, oh shit, I done spreading myself too thin.
Man, I'm 60 years old. Come on.
And he's 40 playing against a bunch of 19, 20, 21-year-olds.
And it matters. He ain't the same LeBron he was.
So
in
you can make the excuse. If
LeBron James is playing in the league at 60, come see me,
bro. Do you at 40?
No, I'm 60. I'm 60.
I'm asking a question. You at 40 and him at 40.
Me at 40, I was still dunking the basketball.
Could you let me get the question out, sir? God damn.
Go ahead.
You at 40, LeBron at 40, 1-on-1, game to 21. Who's winning?
He would win. He's 8. Come on now.
6'9".
Whatever. I'm just saying I was still sub 5 at 40. In the 40s, sub 5. 40 didn't mean.
I don't care about nothing. You already answered my question.
Why would you compare? Why would you compare an armchair athlete to a professional athlete?
Appreciate
and then
greatness.
Think that I should have a chance against them.
Appreciate great. That's all.
I would never even.
That's the point I'm trying to get you to make.
I would never even consider.
You put yourself in these
playing against Michael Jordan when I was 40 years old.
You interject yourself in these situations against these guys who are professional fucking athletes. Like you could hold a fucking candlestick.
Well, I put myself into that because I think about the people who are on my level.
Like I don't appreciate the Jeff Teague shit. Like Jeff Teague wouldn't give your ass work.
I'm sure he would.
The worst nigga in the NBA would beat the shit out of you at your apex. At whatever the worst nigga, whatever the worst, Christian Laettner, whatever the nigga that you rag on.
6'10" dude.
I'm just saying, but no, you shit on him. I'm just saying. You know how the funny thing is, like once you see yourself up against these niggas, then you put the respect on them. But when you seeing them playing against other greats, it's like, oh well, he ain't shit. But once you put yourself in it, if you're gonna do it, be realistic about it. That's what I'm saying.
That's like me challenging LeBron James to a drawing contest. At 60, he ain't got shit on me. That's what I did.
You ain't seen LeBron James draw Bart Simpson?
I could draw Bart Simpson.
I'm gonna send pictures to you, Mike, so you can put it in.
I could draw Bart Simpson with my eyes closed. All I'm saying is, I would challenge LeBron James to an artist draw off any day of the week.
Question.
Yes.
What up, man?
I guess what kind of gets me personally is the in the middle part is because it's like, is it wrong to criticize an athlete and is it at the same time wrong to acknowledge their greatness? Because that's where my thing comes in personally, to where it's like the whole LeBron, you can't criticize a nigga, but it's like, goddamn, like when can we slow down a little bit?
No, there can be criticism, but can we be realistic of said criticism?
So it's saying Father Time eventually catches. Is that not realistic, like said criticism? Because even like if I can get on my because I like bouncing back and forth like the bandwagon and the hate train. And so to me, what I found out recently is like you can't keep ducking Giannis, like what I mean, the way you are ducking Giannis and the pattern forming, and then be like, oh yeah, Father Time, he's undefeated, like I'm going against it. But then when it's time to go against the Bucks and then these teams, it's like all of a sudden it's a groin injury for the this and that, like because the patterns do add up, but it's not a problem. Like if you hurt, just be like, oh, I'm an old man, I don't want to hoop. Compared to like when niggas actually start being like, oh well, I'm noticing a pattern. It's you're hating, if that makes sense.
No. So why is it that you have to dig so far deep to find a criticism? You don't make the criticism for no other player if they hurt.
Cap.
Well,
niggas be people be on Ben Simmons' ass. People been on Kawhi's ass. People been on
Kawhi has played. No.
George. Bro, like people be on people's ass now.
Bro, it's a difference. It's a difference when you're always hurt.
That's my all-time great with injury.
So it's a difference when you're like always hurt
Hall
and like a LeBron.
Hall of Fame.
Like you're trying to compare players who sat out. I mean, like Ben Simmons.
No, it's just a matter of
Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. Who's the other fat motherfucker in New Orleans? Zion. He sat out. These motherfuckers have sat out more games than they've played in their professional careers. Like, you're talking about somebody who's played more professional basketball games than anybody in NBA fucking history. And you're sitting here talking about the nigga go play 4 games and now he's dunking some fucking body? Get the fuck out of here.
That's my whole point. The minute I bring up actual facts, bro's been since 2020. They only played twice. 10 games, right? So that's
Giannis has been hurt too. Giannis has missed a fucking time.
And I'm not, like, you're misregarding my point. My point isn't niggas don't sit out this, and that, and he can't sit out. That's not my point. My point is when there are patterns in place and when niggas say something, it's, oh, well, you're digging. No, I'm shut. Like, we only play the Bucks twice every year. I've been on this team for a long time. So, overall, we only play 10 times. Out of the 10 times, you've lost damn near 7. Like, you've lost about 3 games. And on top of it, you missed the rest. And so, to me...
Out of those games, how many games did Giannis miss?
Not, like, literally none of them.
But Giannis has been hurt a lot of those years.
That's not my point. Isn't that these athletes don't get hurt? It's that when you face a criticism, it's, oh no, you tell me that because I played the most amount of games at the time too. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And I think that's
what the fuck
problem.
Are you? No, not yet.
Like, for even for you to be like, oh, he bullies Steph Curry bro, Steph Curry has a 15-7 record against LeBron in the finals. So, like, I think
you're including that with KD, but okay.
That's my point. Y'all can't do that. Y'all cannot do that. Y'all be so quick to turn around and be like, well, no, because no, this, and that. And when someone's like, well, Chris Bosh did get that one rebound that saved LeBron's ring and passed it out to Ray Allen. Oh, you're hating. What are we talking about?
No. So you have to think about why are you pointing out those moments. It's not because you're acknowledging the greatness of LeBron. It's because you're trying to point out, well, he only got that because of...
Okay, and my point is when you shit on Steph Curry saying he gets bullied by LeBron, that's okay. But when I say, I mean, you can't tell me that because the record says, oh, no, well, he had KD. So these don't count. Okay, well, I don't think LeBron's bubble ring. Oh, you're a hater. Like, that's my whole point. Nothing else.
Wait a minute. Because, again, you're conflating the situations.
I mean...
You're including... Yes, you are. Like, I'm explaining how you're conflating the situations.
Hold on. About Michael Jordan not winning. He didn't have a team.
Can I explain how you're conflating the situations? Are you not including the record with Kevin Durant? You said he's 15-7 in the finals. Are you not including the 3 years at Kevin Durant?
So if that's the case,
just yes or no?
Yes. If that's the case, should Kyrie count either?
What?
But no, because y'all are going to say, well, the block. No. Like, y'all like.
But you continue to add stuff into the conversation. I'm not bringing up right now. Can we get through one thing before you add something else? Like, damn, what got your panties in a bunch today?
You're saying I'm trying to meet in the middle. I'm saying
no, you're not.
I'm saying
you're trying to get me to agree with you.
You can't up someone else's comeuppance and bring someone down, and then when I call you out for that. For doing the same thing, it's like, oh, it's wrong. That's my only point, because in every instance you're bringing up LeBron James, and not just you, but any other fan. It's so quick for someone. Oh, he beat this better than Jordan. Is like y'all are so quick to just bring down another player and forget the actual shit that's either took place or happened along the way. I don't get that personally. That's my only point. I think we just conflate sides a lot of times.
Personally, I look at how the first 7 years of Jordan's career, he was basically a loser. He was a freaking loser. He didn't have a team. When he got a team around him, he just exploded. But during those first 7 years, he was also one of the leading scorers in the league. He was also a defensive player of the year. So he did other things other than win that were his stats and his accolades.
So can I answer your original question? You are allowed to criticize however you see fit. However, it's not fair with the criticism.
It's not fair?
You are able to criticize however you see fit, but the shit that people criticize LeBron over is like I'm gonna take it you didn't watch the interview with Pat McAfee either.
I think their whole fucking beef is pointless.
Is that all you took out of the interview? Did you watch the whole hour and 12 minutes?
No, I didn't watch the whole hour.
See, out of that interview, bro, it was a lot more than just
me personally. I saw someone.
It was a lot more. Hold on.
Jokic got a triple double.
It was a lot more.
We're talking about Stephen A. and LeBron beef. Got a triple.
It was a lot more than that.
Like, bro,
it was a lot more than that, bro. This nigga dropped a lot of fucking and I get it, you probably overlooked it because you're young, and it probably just over your head. I get it, but he talked. He
this nigga like he the like fourth coming to Jesus.
I keep telling y'all, I saw him play. I was not
bro,
impressed.
Sorry. It has nothing to do with it.
I
but
wasn't impressed.
Like what I was gonna say, right? When you talk about Father Time, and if you want to talk about that being a Pharisee, at what point do you say, yeah, Father Time has set in? If the nigga is still playing at a fucking great level, and then by what standard you consider a great level when no one in year 22 has played anywhere relatively as close to how good he's fucking playing right now? So at what point do we say, yes, Father Time is set in? It's not a fucking fair criticism because it's not true. First and foremost. Secondly, when you talk about like the criticism of the game is there. You're supposed to, if a player is not playing good, where I say the criticisms aren't fair is because he doesn't get the same
latitude,
whatever the fuck you want to call it, as other players. Other players aren't criticized as crucially as he is. And that's why I ask, like, why do we look at players in eras like every other player in the old era, they were looking at it like once they won, they became great. Like the criticisms kind of stopped. It was like, oh, well, yeah, he's great. You know what I mean? And it was like for him, it was like, oh, well, yeah, well, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. And
Charles Barkley never won.
Everything what you didn't do.
Pat
but
Ewing
y'all give them excuses.
Reggie Miller never won.
Y'all give them excuses.
Dominic Wilkins never won.
Y'all give them excuses.
What the excuse they had was Michael Jordan.
That whole era gets an excuse. That whole era gets a pass.
I'm just saying.
But he got 6 championships out of a 15 fucking year career. And all these players that didn't play him in the finals get fucking passes. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. But, if that's what you choose to rag and disrespect, just be fair about it.
What is he, like 4-10 in the finals?
Like, no, he ain't been to 14 finals, bro. He's 4-6.
4-6. I know it was a bit. I know it was something.
So let's just be fair. Like, we don't criticize the other players. Like,
we criticize everyone.
We don't criticize the other players.
Every single athlete. If an athlete breathes the wrong way, we're so quick to be like, yo, why did you breathe that way? And that's like, it's so like to think.
I think that's a problem because we do this shit against guys that we can't do the shit that they do.
That's not the
if you wouldn't be sitting here talking about it. You'd be doing it.
Because I can't do X, Y, and Z, I cannot say shit. That's not fair. That's retarded.
I mean,
no, it's not fair. Is you judging motherfuckers on shit that you can't do yourself?
Not fair. Is niggas get paid all this fucking money and then get out of touch.
Oh, you hate? Why you pocket watching?
That's what I'm saying.
Why you pocket watching? Now, bro, go get you some fucking money. Don't do that. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. Oh, you make all this fucking money, bro. If you could do the shit, you could be making that kind of money. Bro, you're conflating the shit. You're conflating the shit. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. No, I'm literally taking your words.
On that note,
yes,
like
that fake ass fucking
subscribe, comment.
Well, it's cool, man. Hey, man, it's been
Jakk,
real.
And I'm MT.
You don't do the outro, nigga. I do the outro.
I thought you was out already.
No, my nigga. This is that. No, nigga. I do the outro. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. If you fuck with the content here, we be talking shit. Niggas don't like it all the time. Stop fucking hating on LeBron nuts.
There you go.
Stop fucking dick riding LeBron. Like that. Yeah, that's how we gonna end it. Stop dick riding LeBron. Greatest fucking player. Like, appreciate greatness, my nigga. That's all I'm saying. Appreciate greatness.
I gotta qualify.
Yeah. You will never see another fucking LeBron in the league ever again. So appreciate greatness. That's all I'm saying.
Haven't seen another Michael Jordan in the league together. So
yes, you did. You had Kobe. But it's been real. It's been real.
Never see another Kareem Abdul-Jabbar again. Never. There will never be another Wilt Chamberlain. Never. There won't be another Larry Bird. Never.
All great players. I'm not. So you don't have to take anything away from any of the other players, but get off LeBron nuts, bro. Stop hating on him like the nigga not great.
The fact that he ain't my
Stop hating on the nigga like no one gives a fuck if he's not your GOAT, but you ain't gotta talk about him like he ain't shit. Get off the nigga nuts.
And we
get off the nigga nuts. Bear down. Get off the nigga nuts.